I'm going to add a few spaces here because we're going to use this typography later on. But for now, inside of this grid, we're going to have a grow component. The grow is a transition or an animation that Material UI uses. So inside of here, we can say we want to grow in, and then we need to specify the key equal to I. Finally, we need to put something inside of it to make it grow. We can put our typography to start with. So now if we save this and take a look, if we reload the page, you can see that there was a slight animation on loading all of these items. But what if we want to load them one by one? You might think that it's extremely complicated, that you might have to do some special logic or use a lot of different rows for each individual element, but that's just not the case. There is a special timeout property which specifies for how long is the animation happening. We can set it to be something like 1000 milliseconds. This is going to be extremely long. If we reload, you can see it lasted 1 second right now. But how can we use this to our advantage to show the animation one by one? Well, what we can do is we can use this index element and say index plus 1 because we want to start from the first element and not 0 element. And then we're simply going to multiply that by the time we want to run our animation, which is 250 milliseconds. Now, this I is going to increment for each element in the row. Therefore, for the first, it's going to be 200 milliseconds, then 500, 750, 1000 milliseconds. Let's check it out. If I reload, take a look. They were all happening in a row. That's the beauty of programming. You just have to figure out the simplest possible logic to do something. And in most cases, if you think about it correctly, it is going to be possible. Now, we don't want to simply show this typography. So what else can we put into this row? Well, we're going to put a link. A link is going to have a class name equal to classes.links. It's also going to have a to property, and it's going to be a template string that's going to go to /movie/ and then the movie.id. Inside of that link, we want to render the image. We're going to use a dynamic block, and we're going to say movie.poster_path. If that exists, in that case, we want to show an image. So we can say image that's going to have the alt tag equal to movie.title. It's going to have a class name equal to classes.image. And finally, it's going to have the source equal to a template string of https://image.tmdb.org/t/p/w500 and then /movie.poster_path. I'm going to include this below this lecture, so you can simply copy the string and paste it. But now, if we don't have access to the movie poster path, then we can show a demo image. Let's do alt is equal to something like a movie title, the same thing we had so far, movie.title. Class name is going to be the same. It's going to be classes.image. And also source is going to be just a bit different. It's going to be a string that's going to say https://www.philmurray, and that's going to be .com/200/300. This string is also going to be linked below. But now here's a really great tip from React that you can do. Whenever you notice that something is being duplicated, you can see as I'm hovering my mouse, let's say hovered, you can see all of this part is the same. And that usually means that you can simplify it and remove the duplication. So what do you say that we don't put this ternary operation right here? So we don't have this at all. We want to keep just one image, go inside of it, and then change just the part that we want to change. So we can say in here, if there is a movie.posterPath, then show this. Else, we can show this. So let's add an else here. There we go. Of course, this needs to be a string, and that's it. Now I'm going to put this into multiple lines so it's easier to see. And there we go. In the source, if we have a movie.poster path, then show the poster path, else show the default demo image. No duplication at all. Now, just below that image, but still inside of the link, let's show our typography. Before checking it out in the browser, let's just add those class names, the classes.title and classes.image, and also the links if we haven't added them already. So the first one after movie is going to be links. And for links, we want to align items to the center. We also give it a font weight equal to bolder. And on all devices that are not mobile, meaning theme.breakpoints.up, and in this case we can use XS. So on all devices that are not mobile devices, we can set the display to be equal to flex, and also flex direction to be equal to column. Great. And also we need to add something on hover, so I'm going to say string and colon hover. On hover, we want to set the cursor to be equal to pointer, and also we want to set the text decoration to be equal to none. Finally, we need to change our image, so let's say image. For our image, our border radius is going to be equal to 20 pixels. Our height of the image is going to be 300 pixels. Margin bottom is going to be set to 10 pixels. And finally, the hover, which we can copy from here, is simply going to say transform. And then we can say scale 1.05. This is going to make the image just a bit bigger. These are all the styles for our movie component. Now let's go ahead and save it and take a look in the browser. And would you look at that? This is looking incredible. We already have a nice looking navigation bar, sidebar, and now we have a list of movies. This is looking great. These are the newest, most popular movies right now, and if you hover over them, we even have that scaling animation. Also, notice how if we reload, they should slowly animate or grow. Nice. So this is already starting to look great. The last thing we have to add to this list is the rating, and then our movie list view is going to be done. Then we can start focusing on more complex functionalities, like actually making these categories and genres and search work. But for now, let's just add that rating right here. To add the rating, we're going to use a rating component. So right here, let's create a rating, and we're going to make it a read only. Also, the value of the rating is going to be equal to movie.vote_average, and then we have to divide it by 2. So just put divide and then 2, because this rating goes to 10 and we want to only show it up to 5. Finally, we're going to set the precision to be equal to 0.1. That way we'll be able to really precisely show the rating. Let's save it and take a look, and there we go. Take a look at that rating. Although, if I hover over it, I want to be able to see the exact rating. Right now, it's hard to say. It's 3.2, but can I really say what it is? And also, the color of the text still doesn't seem to be all right. And also, there's this ugly underline. So let's fix those few issues. First, we're going to add a tooltip. So we can use our tooltip component from Material UI to wrap our rating. But to wrap it correctly, we also have to add a div and then put our rating inside of a div. Now we have to add a few properties to our tooltip. The first one is going to be disable touch listener. And then the second one is going to be the title, which is simply going to be movie.vote_average. And we can also put that in a template string like this. Say movie.voteAverage, but then we're going to have out of 10. Great. And let's fix our ugly underline. We can do that by going to styles, and then simply we're currently adding text decoration of none, only on hover, but we always want to remove that underline. So let's simply set the text decoration to none right here, not in the underline. Great. Let's save it and see if that fixed the issue. There we go. There is no underline, and we also added the tooltip. So if you hover over the rating, you can see 7.9 out of 10, 6.8 out of 10, and so on. This is already starting to look so good. I'm extremely excited about it, even though I already built this app from scratch. So I'm sure that you are excited as well. You've already completed an extremely large portion of the course. It's already looking great, but now we're gonna start working more with logic, implementing the search, the routing, the ability to fetch different categories and genre, creating a user profile, liking movies, and showing a movie information page. There's a lot of things that you're yet to implement and learn. So stay tuned, and great job for coming this far.